Pete had done everything right on paper. He finished his PhD and started applying for postdoc positions. The applications went out. The profile was solid. The strategy was not random. Targeted labs, aligned topics, clear narrative. Still, no offer yet. He felt frustrated, and that reaction makes sense. In coaching, this situation is common, and usually it's workable. You look at positioning, timing, the application package, and the story the CV tells. You develop alternatives. You build a pipeline. You reduce dependency on a single dream lab and design a realistic path forward. That's exactly what we did. And then, about 30 minutes into the session, Pete mentioned something that changed everything. His long-term goal is to build his career in the US. He currently lives there, and his visa is about to expire. Suddenly, all the elegant strategy depended on one basic condition: being legally allowed to stay in the country where the plan is supposed to happen. This is a trap I see a lot. We focus on big goals, ideal trajectories, 5-year plans. We optimize. We design. We do career planning. And we forget the simple constraints that everything else rests on: visas, funding bridges, health, income stability, family obligations. Not exciting, but decisive. In academic careers, it's easy to confuse strategy with feasibility. Strategy is what you do when the playing field is stable enough to move pieces around, which labs to apply to how to position your profile, how to communicate fit, how to create options. Feasibility is the question underneath. Do you have the conditions that allow any of those moves at all? Feasibility can be mundane. For example, it's about immigration status and deadlines, contract end dates and gaps in funding, and so forth. If feasibility is shaky, strategy becomes fragile. Not because the strategy is bad, but because the runway is too short. And when runway is short, people make career decisions under pressure. They accept mismatched roles. They stay too long in unsustainable conditions. Or they burn out while trying to push through a constraint that cannot be negotiated away. Many researchers are trained to think in ideals. What does the ideal career look like? That mindset is useful until it blocks an even more important question: what must be in place for any of this to work at all? In Pete's case, visa timing wasn't a detail. It was the foundation. Without legal status, the rest of the plan becomes hypothetical. This is not pessimism. It's good planning. Because once you surface the true constraints, you can set priorities that actually protect your options. Many researchers carry a quiet anxiety that they interpret as personal inadequacy. I'm not disciplined enough, or I'm not strategic enough. But sometimes the real issue is structural. The conditions are unstable, and your nervous system knows it. When you acknowledge constraints openly, you can stop moralizing them. A visa deadline is not a character flaw. A funding gap is not a lack of ambition. Health limits are not laziness. They are part of the system you're navigating. In academic careers, the decisive moves are often not glamorous. They're administrative, legal, financial, practical. But when you take them seriously, something shifts. Your next steps stop being a fragile ideal and start becoming a viable path. So yes, ask what would be ideal. But never skip the deeper question: what must be in place for any of this to work at all?